Welcome back to the GH Always channel, where today we delve into an intriguing storyline that will keep you on the edge of your seat. We will explore Kristina Corinthos Davis' emotional turmoil, the mysteries surrounding her mental health, and the dramatic fallout from Ava Jerome's acquittal. As the latest developments unfold, it raises significant questions about Kristina's future and the potential hereditary influence of bipolar disorder, a topic that's been brewing beneath the surface for years. The intensity of Kristina's emotional breakdown following Ava's acquittal is not something to be taken lightly. When the verdict was read, her silence spoke volumes. It wasn't the quiet of someone who simply needed time to process. It was the silence of a person in deep shock, potentially on the verge of a breakdown. The tear that briefly shimmered in her eye was a fleeting sign of her struggle, but her ability to hold it together outwardly left those around her deeply concerned. Sunny and Alexis could only watch in worry, unsure if Kristina was truly just in shock or if something deeper was at play. Had Kristina shut herself off entirely from the pain of the verdict, or was it a response to something more sinister within her own psyche? We cannot overlook the trauma that Kristina has endured throughout her life. From witnessing Sam McCall's shocking act of shooting Diego Alcazar, to the painful emotional scars left from that moment, Kristina's history is riddled with significant distress. She didn't just experience loss and pain, she experienced a deep psychological shutdown, retreating into a state of silence and dissociation that lasted for weeks. This wasn't just a normal coping mechanism, it was a sign that Kristina might have been burying emotions far deeper than anyone realized, emotions that could resurface with a vengeance. Could her silence and emotional withdrawal in this instance be a replay of that earlier trauma, or is this yet another warning sign of a more profound issue? Kristina's behavior over the years has also raised the question of whether she might be grappling with an undiagnosed mental health condition, one that runs deep within her family. Bipolar disorder is known to have a genetic link, and it's a disorder that has wreaked havoc on her family before. Sunny's struggles with bipolar disorder have been well documented, but Kristina's own potential diagnosis remains murky. While Morgan's history with the condition was eventually addressed, Kristina's story has been different. Raised by Alexis, she never experienced the same environment or support system that might have helped Sunny and Morgan identify the signs. Alexis might have simply seen Kristina's erratic and impulsive behaviors as typical teenage issues, not realizing they could be symptoms of something much more serious. We know that bipolar disorder manifests in different forms, and the complexities surrounding diagnosis make it all the more difficult. The question arises, could Kristina's unpredictability and irrational decision-making be the result of bipolar disorder, and if so, could it have been overlooked for years? It's not just the disorder itself that's a concern, it's the years of undiagnosed trauma and emotional baggage that Kristina has accumulated. She has faced a series of life-altering events, each one compounding on the last: her rescue from the cult, the tragic death of close family members, her coming out, and the heartbreak of losing the baby she once carried. Each of these events could have pushed Kristina into a darker place, especially if her mental health struggles were never properly addressed. Now, as Kristina spirals, she faces a moral and emotional conflict that could push her to the edge. After everything she has gone through, and the love she once had for Blaze, Kristina is lost in the aftermath of yet another personal tragedy. This moment of crisis leads her down a dangerous path, one where vengeance might be her only way of coping. Could it be that Kristina's fixation on avenging her lost child, baby Adela, also known as Irene, is less about justice and more about her need for control in a life that has felt increasingly out of her hands? Rick Lansing and Ava Jerome are in for a rude awakening. Kristina's emotional state has now reached a boiling point, and she is ready to take matters into her own hands. The notion of revenge is something that Kristina has fantasized about, but now she is determined to make it a reality. Her desire for retribution could see her revisiting old habits, such as breaking into Sunny's gun safe, a move that would shock everyone, including herself. Just like Spencer Cassadine, who notoriously played cruel pranks on Ava, Kristina could be preparing to exact a form of revenge that no one saw coming. The depth of her inner turmoil, combined with the mental health struggles she has yet to fully confront, could transform her into a person who is unrecognizable to those who love her. Sonny, despite his own issues, will undoubtedly stand by Kristina. His unwavering support for his daughter, even in her darkest moments, is one of the few constants in her life. Yet, his presence may not be enough to prevent her from spiraling into a dangerous new version of herself, one that could have consequences not just for her, but for everyone in her orbit. As Kristina grapples with her own inner demons, it becomes clear that she is a ticking time bomb, one whose explosive potential could change everything. In conclusion, Kristina's journey is a tragic yet complex one. The possibility that her bipolar disorder could be at the heart of her destructive tendencies opens up a world of unanswered questions and terrifying possibilities. If she indeed follows the same path as her brother Morgan, she might find herself lost in a world of manic highs and devastating lows. This could be a pivotal moment for her character. A turning point that not only reshapes her future but also impacts the lives of everyone around her. It's a story that invites us to explore the intersection of mental health, trauma, and the deep-rooted struggles that make us who we are. Only time will tell what the ultimate outcome will be for Kristina Davis.